Well, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. My name is Michael Gault. I'm an eminent domain lawyer with Bell, Carrington, Price, and Gregg. And in my role at our firm, I manage a team of lawyers that represents landowners in eminent domain and condemnation cases across the Southeast. We have a number of lawyers that represent landowners in North Carolina. And if you're here with us on this particular town hall, then you have likely received some information from us about this virtual town hall discussing the Mid-Currituck Bridge Project. If you're living in the area, yeah, for any period of time, you've likely heard about this project. It's been in the works, and now we're to the end of some design phases, moving into the potential for some acquisition and then construction delineation phases. And so it's important for us to set these town halls with potentially impacted landowners to let you know what the eminent domain process looks like, to advise you and to let you know that you have rights as landowners, and to briefly tell you at a high level view how we may be able to help. This project, as you know, is creating a second bridge to the north side of the Sound. This is going to be an approximate 7-mile toll project that, when it's finished, will provide some additional access for better or for worse. But the DOT has determined that this project is necessary. The project is funded and it's moving forward. And while it does provide some infrastructure relief, maybe some congestion relief, it also has the potential to impact a number of landowners, both residential and commercial landowners, along portions of the existing roadway, and then certainly where the bridge would cross to the western side of the Sound, where roads don't even exist now. There'll be a new roadway constructed on that side until it ties back into the existing highway. Overall, the big picture view is at some point in the future, maybe later this year, depending on the government schedule and their ability to keep on schedule, right-of-way acquisition phases will begin. And what that means is that somebody will reach out to you as an impacted landowner to let you know that you're impacted, and that an offer for the land that they're taking from you may be coming your way. To put it simply, most often those initial offers don't adequately compensate the landowner for what they're losing. Sometimes those initial offers are presented with a settlement agreement or with a deed that the officials on behalf of the DOT would ask you as landowners to sign. And once you sign that, the deal's done. You'll be paid and you'll move on with life until some years down the road when construction is complete. And you might look out the door and say, oh, hold on, that number that I was paid doesn't adequately reflect what I'm truly losing now that I see what the damages to my property look like. That's where we come in. That's where our lawyers shine. That's what we specialize and focus on every day, is analyzing these impacts, analyzing these projects, helping the landowner to determine what the true impact of their property is, and then advocating on their behalf throughout the process to make sure that they receive true just compensation. That is the amount that the landowner is owed for what the government takes from them. A couple of terms that I've thrown around here that I like to make sure that the landowners understand, just because most people fortunately never have to deal with this. But the first is eminent domain. What is it? Well, put simply, eminent domain refers to the government's right, in this case, the North Carolina DOT, refers to their right to take private property for a public purpose. So that's what's going to happen on this project. Sure, there will be some attempted negotiation, but at the end of the day, if the landowner or their attorney and the government, the DOT, aren't able to reach an agreement, then more than likely they'll proceed with what's known as condemnation, which is the legal filing that enacts the government's right to eminent domain. It's a filing that says, hey, here's the money that we believe the property is worth, and here's the legal document that goes with it. And by filing those, we're going to begin working on this project on the land that we claim that we need to complete the project. That's their right. It's well established. And on road projects like this, the public purpose doctrine, which is the major hurdle that the government would need to overcome, that hurdle is largely overcome. So there are very little arguments as to why the public purpose doctrine or eminent domain wouldn't apply to a road project that is open to the public. But it's important that the landowner, that the public knows that they have rights too. Among the most important of those is the right to just compensation. And again, put simply, that just means that you have the right to be paid fairly and adequately for what you're losing and all damages to the remainder of the land that you're losing. That is unfortunately not as easy said as it is done. We have great experience in analyzing the actual damages to a piece of property, but it's complicated. We're looking at potential proximity damages on residential structures. We're looking at access changes or damages to commercial or light industrial structures. We're looking at future plans that the landowner may have had and how this project may impact those plans. And then ultimately, it's about negotiation and maximizing the landowner's position with the government's representative. And we do that. Our lawyers in North Carolina do that often. They know the process and the procedure. They know the players that are often involved on behalf of right-of-way acquisition, and we're able to advise our clients from step one all the way up and until the trial of the case, which is your final and ultimate remedy as a landowner. If you're not able to resolve these cases, you have the right to a jury trial, to have 12 members of a jury tell you what your property is worth. And sometimes that's beneficial, sometimes it's not. It certainly depends on each individual case. But we're there with you from the beginning to the end and every step in between. I like to end these short town halls with a couple of the most important pieces of information. The first is that while I can give general information and we can give general information through a virtual town hall like this, we cannot begin to give property specific advice. I'm going to enter my name and number in the chat box in a few minutes. And occasionally when we do these live, we offer the landowners to ask questions that we can answer. I'm not going to be able to do that today because of time constraints. But what I'll ask is that if you have questions, if you have concerns, or if you just want to talk to us more about eminent domain, please reach out to me in the chat, the information that I'm going to include in the chat box, name, number, email, and then our website where you can fill a form or schedule a consultation with our office, and the appropriate attorney will get back with you to have a one-on-one consultation where we can really dive down into specific property level analyzation to tell you what we think the impact to your property may look like and how we may be able to help. In fact, I'll do that now. And as I'm doing it, I'd like for you to know the second and probably most important piece of information is that at Bell Carrington, in our eminent domain practice, our fees are not traditional attorney's fees in that we don't ask for out-of-pocket upfront retainers. We don't bill you hourly. Instead, our fee is a contingency fee. It's a percentage of the amount of just compensation recovered after the initial offer is received. And so it's only calculated on the amount of what we call new money that is received on behalf of the landowner through just compensation. Those percentages can vary. And so we invite the landowner, we invite you to reach out to us independently so that we can dive down into your specific property to talk about how that fee structure might work for your property, what the impact might be, and if we feel like we are a good fit to be able to help you through this. It's important not to wait until right-of-way acquisition begins or until the project gets into a further design phase, for the simple fact that if we're able to look at this early and see some sort of impact that we have a chance to change, now is the time to reach out to the appropriate engineers to attempt to change it. It's not likely in every case. It's generally not likely in most cases, but it is. The potential is there to alter or amend some impacts in some cases. And that's only if you act early on during this design phase. If you wait until later on down the road and some properties are taken, then that just won't work. There's our email. There's my name. Here is my email. I'd invite you to reach out to us through one of those means, or a number of ways on our website there. I'd be glad to speak with you. And I appreciate the time joining us this afternoon or whenever you may watch this recording. Again, Michael Gault on behalf of the eminent domain team at Bell Carrington, Price and Gregg. And we look forward to hearing from you and hopefully working with some of you in the future. Thanks.